Good afternoon. My name is Reesee and I'm excited to be here with you today. I look forward to taking your thoughts and questions at the end of this presentation. Did you know that as of 2013, the percentage of children who were not vaccinated was less than 1%? But since then, these numbers have increased and there has been a significant increase in outbreaks of vaccine-preventable diseases, such as mumps, measles, and pertussis. However, prevention is simple and it can be achieved by making sure that parents have the proper knowledge to protect their children. To solve the problem of outbreaks and to save lives, individuals must be educated on why it is important to vaccinate. Educating the public is vital because it enlightens them on consequences of contracting vaccine-preventable diseases, it rules out myths that follow vaccinations, and provides insight as to why it is so vitally important to vaccinate. As you can see in the two images, the one on the left is measles and the one on the right is mumps. And these are just a couple of examples of vaccine-preventable diseases. But if one is not vaccinated against these, the outcomes can be extremely disastrous. First of all, one must know the consequences of these preventable diseases. Measles is an extremely contagious viral disease. Symptoms such as high fever, runny nose, cough, and red, watery eyes occur 7 to 14 days after the initial exposure. About 2 to 3 days after the onset of these symptoms, Koplik spots, which are white spots in the mouth, begin to appear. 3 to 5 days after the symptom onset, a rash will begin to occur, like in the previous picture. Many deaths from measles occur in the child when it gets pneumonia or encephalitis, which is swelling of the brain. Mumps is also a contagious viral disease that causes swelling of the salivary glands under the ears. Symptom onset begins around 16 to 18 days after infection. Some of its symptoms include fever, headache, fatigue, and muscle weakness. And these happen about 16 to 18 days after infection, like I just said. Some complications that arise with mumps include encephalitis, meningitis, and deafness. These are just a couple of the many preventable diseases from vaccinations. However, despite the consequences, some parents choose to opt out of immunizing their children because of the rumored link between autism and vaccinations. In recent years, there has been a sense of uproar regarding anti-vaxxer parents because they believe that specifically the MMR vaccine raises the risk of autism in children. This theory was based off a study conducted by Andrew Wakefield in the 90s, and it was eventually found fraudulent. Since the discretization of Wakefield's study, there have been several studies and medical research projects that have discovered no true medical link between vaccinations and autism. However, the problems go way beyond the myth that autism occurs in vaccinated children. And now this is causing many disease outbreaks that could be easily prevented. It is so vitally important to vaccinate children because it eliminates and controls the spread of disease. Over the last 3 years, there have been several instances of outbreaks in the United States. For example, colleges are being hit extremely hard with the spread of disease such as mumps and measles, which makes this relevant to even to us college kids. 2 of the largest university outbreaks hit Iowa and Illinois in 2015 and 2016. And this outbreak of mumps specifically affected 6 people on these campuses. There was also a measles outbreak in Disneyland in 2014 and 2015. However, both of these situations likely could be linked to parents opting out of the MMR vaccine due to the theoretical link between it and autism. Considering that there is an abundance of medical research that proves the control of outbreaks and discredits the link to autism, I believe that everyone should be educated about vaccines and that every child should be vaccinated because it is safer for the general public, the communities that these children are living in, and the community and the children themselves. Overall, there is a need for higher public education and an increase in children receiving adequate vaccinations to save their own lives and everyone else around them. Again, educating the public is extremely vital because it enlightens them on the consequences of contracting a vaccine-preventable disease. It rules out the myth that autism and vaccinations are linked, and it provides insight as to why it is so extremely important to vaccinate your children. Thank you for your time, and I will take your questions now.